spray, that spray, plus it's gonna be lingering around. Then I gotta wait through, a full week or two before the weeds go away. And then I've gotta pull all the weeds out because it leaves dead, full-grown weeds, right? This burns them down to nothing. I've never seen anything like it. I couldn't believe it was only $49.95. It is called the Bionic Burner, all right? You can detach the two attachments and you can use it as a charcoal starter. You can use it as a way to scrape paint off things because it's like a heat gun, but it's a heat gun gone wild. $49.95 is the price today. We've already sold, 6 dozen have already been sold, and I don't have that many to go around. It's very easy to use. You got one end that's got a plug, all right? You have an on switch right here, and then you just decide what tip to put on. You're gonna get 2 tips. You get this one. That's a concentrator tip. So that you're gonna use when you have weeds like in a line, like around pavers and things like that. And then you get a diffuser tip. That's gonna kill the other bulk weeds that you need to. The element is built inside. It gets obviously burning hot, and then there is a fan that distributes air that focuses the heat out to kill the weeds. There's no residual. There's nothing to breathe in. It just gets out there and burns it. Yes, you'll probably need an extension cord, which, you get yourself a nice 25-foot extension cord, you get all those weeds and kill them all around your yard. And then if you need to start your charcoal fire, you got a fire starter as well. I think this is brilliant. It's brand new. I've never seen it before. It weighs only 2.8 pounds. It's on wheels, so you can roll it around while you're getting rid of the weeds. You will love this. Order now because it will sell out very quickly. My good friend Lou Caputo standing by. Lou, I love new, and when I see something new for the garden, I gotta have it, buddy. This is awesome.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've been lucky enough to use this for the last 2 weeks, and it has completely changed the way I get weeds out of my pavers. I'm telling you right now. Well, because like you, I was looking at them going like, all right, blowtorch. I'm going to the blowtorch because I'm done. Either you're picking them or you're spraying them or you're doing something like that. When you've got the Bionic Burner, you literally wheel it up to where you want to use it. You turn it on, and then I just set it down over the weeds and just stand there for 5 to 10 seconds. And it takes care of them that quickly, without poisons, without breaking your back. Let me show you how this works, though, because this thing is really cool. There's a switch on it right here that has 2 different speeds on it for the fan. Now, we'll go up to 1,500 watts of heat, and it is a heat gun, essentially, that's on wheels, or as you said, on steroids. We've got some weeds here poking up through some gravel. This could be any kind of ground cover you might have at your house, because that's where they like to come through. I am going to turn this on, and you're going to hear that fan come on. Now, it's going to take a couple seconds to heat up, but I'm just going to place it right on top of this weed. Now, if I were like on a sidewalk or if I were, on my paver patio or any place like that, guy, I would just, put the wheels down on the ground and just let it sit there and just let it do its thing. And you can actually smell it after a couple seconds that the weed is being desiccated, that it's taking all the moisture out of it, that it's actually burning that weed. And it takes a few seconds for it to heat up, but once it gets going, let's take a look at it and see what we've done. Oh, it's gone.
Wow.
The
that
weed,
is cool.
dude, it vaporized the weed that was sitting right there. And I like the fact that you can use the different nozzles. Now, I like to use that horn nozzle, that wide one that's on there, because I can literally just put it over the top of the whole weed and just walk away and let it sit there. You also get the other nozzle you see down here on the ground. It's the crevice tool nozzle, the concentrator. So if you're going along the edge of a house or something like that, you can burn it with those. Then, without the nozzles, guy, you saw in the video, you can use it to strip paint. You can use it to start a charcoal fire. This thing, where's this been? Where has this been all this time?
Well, and there is nothing that I detest more than weeding. When I was a kid, I worked for a landscape company, and when you're the new landscape kid, you know what job you get? You're weeding. It's what you do. And I remember 8 o'clock in the morning being under like giant, pine trees and just pulling weeds in like 90-degree weather, and it was absolutely brutal. And if you're a senior out there and you got weeds in your yard, you're not gonna be getting down on hands and knees and trying to pull these things out, right? And we're not talking about 10,000 miles or acres of weeds. We're talking about the annoying ones, the ones that grow on your pavers, the ones that grow around your sidewalk. I have weeds that grow right out of cement, Lou. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but weeds are survivors. If you want to get it, we are very busy right now. Try it out. You've got all of October, November, December, and January to try it. This is one of those ones that you're like, I want to use it and make sure I want to see it and believe it.
Yeah.
Get it home and try it. It's only $49, and if you get a brand new HSN credit card, $29, Lou. This is going to be a big help, especially for people that have issues like getting down on their hands and knees. You know what I mean? Which is tough for, especially for seniors, or if you've got any kind of ailment, or if you're a working mom, maybe maybe you're pregnant and you still want to do gardening, but you don't want to bend over and deal with that stuff. Whatever, right? And you don't want to use pesticides in any of those situations either. Pesticide-free, Lou, natural way to get rid of weeds.
Yeah, no, it is. It's the best way. I'll tell you, I can't believe it's taken this long for somebody to come up with this idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to burn another weed in the back of this, and I've adjusted my wheel so I can let it sit, but I want to show you something. I'm going to turn this on, guy, and this is what's so beautiful about this. Cup of coffee in the hand, guy. Now, this fits into our playbook of it's got to be easy. Watch this. Drinking a cup of Joe. Got it sitting on the weed right here, burning away underneath there. And you're going to see in a couple seconds. Let me see how it's looking down underneath there right now. You can see it's withering it as I put it on top of it right there. It just takes a couple seconds, but the nice thing is you don't have to do anything. Literally don't have to do anything. You turn it on, you stand here, you let it go to town, do its thing, and in just a few moments, that weed, and what it's going to do is it takes all the moisture out of it, it burns it. So take a look. If I pull that away, see how it's burnt at the bottom right there? The whole part that's at the bottom is burned right there. The rest of this is just going to fall off. It's going to blow away in the wind. And that's what makes this thing so great, is there's nothing that you have to do. You don't have to pick anything. And you know what's funny? We did my whole paver patio with this, right? Because all these weeds were starting to poke up through it. We went out there, we used this. And at first I looked at it, I was like going, well, it burned them, but they're still there. The next morning I came out, actually like an hour later, they were gone. The wind completely blew them away.
Yeah,
it doesn't get easier.
No, right down to the roots too, which is really, really nice. A lot of times you'll pull weeds and they just grow right back within 2 weeks.
They do.
Try this out. This is one of those, you got to see it to believe it. Get it home. You got almost 4 months, October, November, December. You got 4 months to try it before you have to return it if it doesn't work for you. I think this is a big help, as I said before, to senior citizens out there and people who can't do, or even if you're disabled in any way and you can't do regular weeding, this is a great way to be able to do it. And I love the fact, as I said before, that I don't have to worry about residual chemicals. And Lou, a lot of times when you do use like sprays and pesticides for, or whatever they are, pesticides, you wind up killing things you don't want to kill. This, you can target what you want to get rid of.
Yeah, you're not going to, and that's the thing about this too. That's why it's so perfect to use. Because, when you use pesticides, you get runoff. It goes in your grass. Next thing you know is you're killing your grass too on top of it. You don't want to do that. This is focused. You can aim this where you want it to go. And again, I'm not doing anything. I've had it sitting in this weed for a couple seconds. You can see right here, this guy right here, look at that. That thing is, it's crisp, guy. It's crisp. Look at that. In just a couple of seconds.
What we need to explain to everybody is that, you're not going to burn things into flames, all right? It's not a blowtorch.
No, they don't burst into flames.
Yeah, what you're doing, and even though the weeds that you're looking at are not turning completely brown, they're going to die because they're not meant to have hundreds of degrees on them for a couple of seconds, all right? They're used to the sun, which is 80 or 90 degrees, and that's what feeds them. But if it goes up to 200, 300 degrees, it's not going to take long, all right? And that's going to send the message, and they're just going to wilt away and die. Try it out. You've got, as I said, you've got extended return policy to get it home. You'll love it. We show you this just to show you if you want to burn them out, you can, but literally just a couple of seconds on each one, and you'll see it start to curl. At that point, you've done your job. The next day you'll come out there, they'll be brown. You could probably sweep them away because you've pretty much incinerated them. Really hard to reach weeds are tough. The ones that are really small, you can't quite get them with your finger. This will get those as well. And Lou, let's talk about some of the other aspects of this.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to use this to start a fire, because, one of the things about making a fire, even a wood fire, a charcoal fire, whatever it is, you got to blow air in it, okay? You need to get that airflow in there because it's one of the 3 elements that actually makes a fire burn, all right? But half the time, if you're down there on your hands and knees, you're getting smoke in your face, and it's just really unpleasant. This is a great way to do it. Plus, the heat that comes off of this is going to help stoke that fire. With removing paint, Guy, I'm sure you've done this in the past, use a heat gun to do it, but that could be kind of a pain, especially if you're on a deck or something, because you're down, hunched over. This has got the wheels on it. I'm just rolling this along, just going back and forth, and it makes it really, really simple to do. Plus, you've got the extra tips on this for the weeds, for the crevices. I just burned one in here, and I can tell you, as soon as I got done with this one, it's just completely obliterated, and it's amazing. This guy right here, I'll pull it up here just so you can see, but I want you to see the bottom of that.
Yeah,
see how that's just all. Yeah, it's all burned out. So that's going to die. That's not going to stay there, and it's not going to come back. And that's the big deal, Guy. We're not going back over and over and over again, having to reapply poisons every month.
Yeah.
This is the easy way to do it.
Well, and you and I, we're big proponents of things that don't involve like toxic chemicals. I know Louis as well. You know, Lou's got, I got Danny, you got pets. I mean, we got a lot of things we need to worry about.
That's right.
Not only that, you know, the other day I was telling you, I went and went and bought like, you know, weed killer. It's so ironic that this came up right after I bought it. I went and bought it, and you know, I sprayed it all in this line where I had grass creeping over in the driveway. It